In the last 10 years, SNAC has provided fighter training stack supplements to more than 20 world champions, including Mikey Garcia, Demetrius Andrade, and Caleb Plant. If you're ready to take your fight game to the next level, the SNAC Fighter Training Stack is for you.
Lightweight, and you saw what happened with the right weight, with the right weight and getting back to the basics technique-wise, all that came into play.
After what happened with how Tyson Fury somehow got up, did you know Dominic Breazeale was out for the count, basically?
I thought he was gone, and to his credit, he did as good a job as humanly possibly could have done to try to get up. But I'm glad they stopped the fight because it wasn't going to be good. It was time, and I'm glad he's good. And I'm glad he's happy. He's safe.
So based on him being knocked out like that and couldn't get out, and Deontay saying that he could have, killed somebody and everything, do you think if they would have continued that fight, it would have been some serious damage to?
Well, anytime you got a guy like Deontay Wilder and you're not in a proper state of mind, you're half concussed or maybe fully concussed, and he's coming at you. Especially, and that's the thing people don't understand. He's wild, he's this, that. But if you really look at it, it's only when a guy's hurt that Deontay throws unorthodox punches. And you got to understand, when you're hurt, it's like being dizzy. When you're dizzy, you can defend against punches that you've seen 1,000 times a lot better than you can defend. Like if you're thinking like this and all of a sudden stuff's coming from here and here and here, very hard to defend, as opposed to, all right, I'm gonna stay in the pocket, I'm gonna shell up, and maybe I can pick off enough of these to clear my head. With Deontay, that ain't happening. He's coming from anywhere and everywhere, and there's really no answer for it. So that's the part that the general public doesn't get. Oh, he's wild. They're not seeing the 1-2 that knocks Taverne down, in the second fight. They're not seeing the punch that, if Breazeale got up and Deontay went at him unorthodox, they would have forgotten what you just saw, which was technically very sound 1-2.
Jay, break down the knockout. Why was he able to land that punch?
Well, he had him hurt, and then he got a little bit, anxious, trying to get. Then he settled back, and then to Dominic's credit, he really fought back. And then Deontay kind of settled back down and got back. All right, we're back. We're going to do the thing. And he saw it. His mind picked up on the angle. There's a million things going on in a fight that the average viewer probably doesn't see, just in terms of spacing and timing and distance. And that's what Shelley was talking about. Like he lined him up. Deontay was just like a half step to Deontay's right, which the angle was just. It wouldn't have been, the angle wouldn't have been there. It wasn't there 3 seconds before. Wouldn't have been there 2 seconds after. It was just that. There it is, kind of thing. And
when that landed, did you know?
I knew, when Breazeale came out and he got hit and he said, "You ain't got nothing," or whatever it was he said. Then he got hit again. He said, "There ain't nothing to that." I was like, okay, this is not going to last long because that's the way punching power is. They say getting hit by George Foreman, which is kind of a slower. They say getting hit by George Foreman was like getting hit by a Mack truck at 35 miles an hour. Like you feel every inch of the pain. Getting hit by Mike Tyson, it's like getting hit by a bullet. It doesn't hurt. You're just on the ground and your body doesn't work. You can't move. Deontay's more the speed power. But when he hits you like to the body and things, it's more the George Foreman power. So he has a little bit of both of it. But what he hit Breazeale with was the speed power. And it's just you're just on the ground and nothing works.
So now manager hat.
Yeah.
What's the most likely fight that's next?
That we're going to see that everybody says they want to fight until you get them to the table. And I mean, look at Joshua. We had offered $50 million, and he and proved it was real to their own. They agreed that was real. I've never known Al Heyman and Shelley Finkel to be anything but real with money, but proved it was real, and they said no. They offered us 15, and we said yes. The fight never happened. Well, that tells you right there that who wants to fight and who doesn't. So I don't know, to answer your question. We're going to see. Shelley's working on some things, and me and Shelley will be in touch about 15 times a day for the next week or so, and we'll make whatever the next call is, what it is, whether it be Fury or whether it be Joshua or whether it be a rematch with Ortiz, or whether it be a Kalnaki, or like Deontay said, it's not a huge division, so there's going to be opportunity.
Can you speak now of the $100 million offer and as to why the team passed on it?
Well, I think really what it was mostly like Deontay betting on himself, kind of like Floyd did back in the day. You had one offer that was from ESPN came in, and that would have that side of the road would have kind of tied us to Fury, because he was already signed. Then DAZN came in, and that would have tied us to Joshua because it's on that side of the road. But I told Deontay, and he was way ahead of me on it, but he said, I want to bet on myself and go my own way where I'm not tied into anybody else's plan. And I said, well, you got a great idea, because, when they build a condo at the beach, there's always about 10 houses they've got to buy, right? The guy in the last house that hasn't sold yet, he's got all the power. He gets what he wants if he sells it off. He gets what he wants. Deontay's the last house on the beach.
We didn't get to see it tonight since it ended in the first round, but how much did Deontay prove himself fundamentally during this camp?
Oh, I thought he came to me after the last fight. He said, I want to get back to the basics. I want to get back to the basics, get back to technique, and really go back to day one, and let's start, really refining the technique. And I said, that's what every coach wants to hear, So that was a great idea. So actually, if you watch his right off the bat, his stance, his hand placement, everything right, like 3 seconds into the fight, I'm like, we're good. Like he is doing exactly what he said he would do. He's such a freakishly good athlete that he can get away with things, and that's, he's right about that. He can do things wrong and it come out right. But what you have to wonder in doing that is, would an 8-round fight have been a 2-round fight had you done things like tonight? If he was getting away with things tonight, does that fight go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatever? But he came in with a game plan. He came in determined to do things technically correct, and he's always going to be Deontay now. Don't get me wrong. He's never going to lose his unique punches. He's never going to lose the awkwardness that he has. That's what makes him effective. We never wanted to take the identity away from him. We just wanted him to zero in and hone in on some of those basic fundamental things.
Is that the ideal weight that you want Deontay?
Yeah, I like him right in the mid 220s. I know he came in the last fight at 212, and then the morning of the fight, the night of the fight, 209. Probably by the time he knocked Fury down, 206, 205, right? Because he'd been sweating all night. So 225, really 223, 224, 225 sounds really good to me, because I think he has more fluid. Like he's bigger, he's faster, he has so much more energy when he's taking care of his nutrition.
What do you think is the ideal return time frame?
Oh, I mean, that's the great thing about boxing. He got in and he got out, so there's no reason to say we'll see you in 2020. I mean, I think we're good for September or October, I think. So, I mean, we'll just take a month off and everybody go do all they need to do, and we'll get back in camp. We're ready. Sure. Go ahead.
Another heavyweight was here at FA Jogba. Deontay mentioned his competitor actually walking out of the ring. Do you see similarities between the two based on the few fights that he's had?
I haven't seen enough of FA. I do know that Ronnie trains him, and anytime Ronnie Shields has trained somebody, you've always got to think that they're doing the right things, because Ronnie's a tremendous trainer. In fact, when I took over the training duties at Sky Boxing and became the trainer, because I wasn't up until that point, I was just like the resident sparring partner and promoter. But when my brother got out of boxing and I was going to take over the training duties, the first place I went was to Houston, and had never met Ronnie before. And he's like, come on, we'll have fun. And the guy welcomed me into his house, and we went out and watched a pay-per-view fight, and met his family, went to the gym, and I'm sitting here the whole time writing, notes down and stuff, and the things that I liked that they did, the things I would change and all that. Came back to town, I'm the new trainer, Deontay Wilder walks in the door. So it's amazing how it all. So to answer your question, yeah, if Effie's, working with Ronnie, he's the real deal. He's a good fighter, and we'll see, what happens down the road. He's young. He's still got a ways to go in terms of building up, but I think if he's with Ronnie and does what Ronnie says, he's got a tremendous future.
Which fight next do you honestly think is the most likely?
Man, I could answer that question better a week from now, but I just don't know. Shelly could tell me one thing tonight and then tell me something totally different Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I give my input, and then we talk to Al. It could go a million ways, so I hate to be on record as saying, because I just don't know.
Hey, Jay, this wasn't a good